Devon, England, August 19th, 1978. A narrow lane between hedgerows. A paper girl on a blue Dawes bicycle. 14 copies of the Exeter Express and Echo bagged at her hip. She rounds the bend at Within Lane at 3:25 p.m. It's warm. The road is quiet. The afternoon feels ordinary. 4 minutes later, two school friends crest the same bend. The bicycle is on its side. The front wheel is still spinning. Newspapers are scattered about like cards at the end of a cheap card trick. And Genette Tate is gone. No shouts, no tire marks, no one in the hedges. 47 years on, the wheels have stopped, but the questions haven't. This is the Midnight Mystery Archive, and tonight we look at the case of Genette Tate. Genette is 13 years old, the eldest of three girls. The kind of kid whose school report reads quiet, conscientious, and horse mad. Her weekends are meant for pocket money and independence. The Saturday paper round through Aylesbeare, 10 miles east of Exeter, puts that money in her pocket. That summer, her parents are separated. Genette lives with her father, John Tate, and his partner, Violet, at Rattenbury Cottage, a whitewashed house with a view of fields and a sky that goes on forever. Friends recall two fixed points in her week: netball and any chance to be near ponies. Aylesbeare isn't the middle of nowhere. It is the edge of everywhere. The A3052 arterial road runs like a spine east-west. Farm tracks, pull-ins, and field gates connect quietly to the lane. It's the kind of countryside that can feel all yours until a van rolls by and you remember, there's always a road out. Within Lane is a single track, flanked by hedges about 6 feet high. If you're standing in the lane, you can see a car or cyclist well before they reach you. Long sight lines. If you're tucked into a field gate gap with the engines off, the hedges hide you until you want to be seen. In 1978, only a handful of homes front the lane. The nearest front window is roughly 80 yards from the spot where the bike will be found. On that Saturday afternoon, at 3:15, Genette leaves Rattenbury Cottage with 14 papers. By 3:20, she's seen near the post office stores. A brief chat with a schoolmate. Nothing out of the ordinary. They peel off in different directions. At 3:25, Genette enters Within Lane to finish the round. The weather is dry, light wind, and sparse traffic. At 3:29, two friends, Kim and Lynn, cycle into the lane expecting to catch up. Instead, they find the Dawes on its left side, the front wheel spinning freely. The canvas bag split, with 7 papers already delivered and 7 strewn across the road. And no Genette, no voices, and no movement in either hedge. They assume she's popped into a cottage to collect money. They stack the papers neatly, call her name and wait. And nothing. Kim cycles back toward Rattenbury Cottage to alert Violet Tate. The time is approaching 4 p.m. Calls go out to neighbors and friends. A quick foot search begins. Hedgerow gaps, outbuildings, stables, verges. By 5, John Tate is on the lane. By 5:30, Devon and Cornwall police have logged a formal missing person and begun the first pass canvass. Modern policing teaches the golden 2 hours after a disappearance. In 1978, in a rural force on a Saturday, getting a search moving inside 90 minutes is fast. There are no mobiles, no CCTV to pull, no license plate readers. The first 2 hours are boots, eyes, and memory. And in this case, the lane gives them almost nothing back. Across 48 hours, the search swells to hundreds. Uniformed officers, CID, soldiers from RM Limpstone, RAF air crews, locals in Wellington boots. They walk every hedgerow between Aylesbeare, Newton Poppleford, and West Hill. Drag ponds, marl pits, and flooded quarries. Recheck each address on Genette's delivery list. Photograph the lane from ground and air to create a baseline in case a tire track or scrape appears later that wasn't there before. The numbers you hear quoted in documentaries are grimly impressive. Approximately 19,000 items of disclosure, 6,000 actions, 3,500 statements, 12,000 exhibits logged over the life of the file. And yet, no fabric scrap, no shoe, no footprint or tire track that can be tied to an abductor. Tracking dogs follow Genette's scent to the bicycle and stop. Weather that day is calm and dry, so handlers tend to read an abrupt stop as vehicle pickup, not weather washout. But a vehicle means speed, and speed means distance, and distance is the enemy of a ground search. Abductions that occur in under 30 seconds usually share traits. The offender is pre-positioned, the vehicle door is already open, the location has easy escape to a major road, and the offender understands that ordinary is invisible. A man leaning on a transit with the door ajar looks like a delivery driver, until he doesn't. Early attention moves through the usual local possibilities. Farm workers, checked and cleared by alibi, vehicle type, and location. Traveling fair staff in Tipton, St. John. Timings don't match. A silver estate seen stopping children in nearby Ottery, St. Mary. Driver traced and eliminated. 2 photo fits circulate. A gaunt man, dark hair in a dark saloon, and a heavier man with a small mustache in a light blue van with a ladder rack. Leads bloom and die. None turn into a name with evidence behind it. In the mid-1980s, a jailed offender, John Cook, basks in tabloid attention by hinting at killings in the West. Police compare MOs and prison timelines and dismiss it as cell block boasting. Every false confession drains hours from a file that already has too few. Crime scene techs find no scuff patterns in the tarmac consistent with the struggle. The papers are intact, not trampled or torn, suggesting the interruption was quick and close to the bike. No fingerprints on the bicycle that shouldn't be there. If there was violence, it happened elsewhere. Investigators call that an unseen crime scene. You know, a crime occurred, but the physical scene sits somewhere else you haven't found. By the late 1990s, the file tilts toward a name that will come to loom over multiple British child abductions. Robert Black, a Scottish delivery driver convicted in 1994 of the murders of Susan Maxwell in 1982, Caroline Hogg in 1983, and Sarah Harper in 1986, as well as the abduction of Teresa Thornycroft in 1988. Why Black fits Genette's disappearance is simple. Black's employer, Poster Dispatch and Storage, also known as PD&S, routes vans through Devon and Cornwall in the late 1970s. A petrol receipt places Black in the Southwest the weekend Genette vanished. His MO? Slender girls in daylight from roadside locations, rapid grab into a van, long-distance drive before assault, often no immediate witnesses. A witness later reports Black acting suspiciously at Exeter Airport the day of the abduction. Near, but not proof. Detectives interview Black multiple times in 1996, 2005, and 2011. He denies involvement. The PD&S van he used in 1978 is long scrapped. No vehicle to swab for fibers. No clothing of Genette's has ever been recovered to compare. The case against him remains circumstantial. By 2015, Devon and Cornwall police prepare a full CPS brief. Prosecutors say privately they are weeks from a decision when Black dies of heart failure in prison in January 2016. You can't charge a dead man. You also can't leverage his fear of a trial to shake loose new witnesses. Momentum bleeds out of the room. Genette's case mirrors Black's convictions in victim profile and method. It differs in one cruel way: no recovery. In the later cases, bodies were found. Forensic context existed. Here, the absence is total. That makes Black the most likely in many veteran detectives' minds, and simultaneously not provable beyond a reasonable doubt. It's the gulf between probability and proof. In 2002, the Force launches Operation Lester, a cold case overhaul that digitizes the entire archive. Faded statements, Polaroids, dog handler logs, aerial photos, maps with grease pencil routes. They rebuild the witness matrix in Holmes 2, a major incident software, re-interview hundreds, and retest anything that can be swabbed. Results? No viable DNA from the bicycle or paper bag that can be attributed to an offender. No new witness who can place Genette with a particular vehicle. Stronger likelihood case against Black, but still circumstantial. Ongoing major crime review status. The case is formally cold, but on a schedule for periodic retesting as technology improves. There are three plausible paths. Environmental DNA. Modern methods can read mixed genetic traces from soil embedded in tire treads or frame crevices. If those particulars can be linked to a distinct depot environment, unique microbes, pollen, you might triangulate an offender's base. Forensic genealogy. If touch DNA from an offender survives in sealed exhibits, strap hardware, bag stitching, a partial profile could, in theory, be expanded enough for genealogical searching. It's a long shot given age and handling, but not impossible. Gate and vehicle noise analysis. Audio and video from the lane doesn't exist, but audio recollections from witnesses can be re-interrogated with psychoacoustic prompts or engine tones to refine whether a diesel transit or a petrol saloon was idling nearby. Again, slim chances, but any move is better than stasis. Genette's father, John, will spend decades phoning detectives weekly and marking anniversaries with grace and iron. He dies in 2023, still without the one thing he asked for: a place to take flowers. Her mother, Sheila, endures the weight public families carry. The interview every few years where you relearn how to describe a daughter you last saw as a child. In Aylesbeare, the lane itself has become a memorial. Locals refer to Genette Tate Lane, a small sign fixed to a pole. Children still cycle there, and parents look twice without quite meaning to. Cold cases calcify if you let them. Families keep them supple by saying the name. A bike on its side, a spinning wheel, a lane taking a breath and holding it for 47 years. There are cases with too many theories and cases with almost none. Genette sits between. One method that fits too well, one suspect who died, and a landscape that still knows something we don't. After over 4 decades, a case like this doesn't end with a lab result. It ends when a memory that has been waiting all this time finally finds its voice. If you drove the A3052 that afternoon, serviced a PD&S van, worked garages east of Exeter, or recall a vehicle parked oddly on Withan Lane, Devon and Cornwall Police will take your call. This has been the Midnight Mystery Archive and the case of Genette Tate. This is the last episode of Season 1 of the Midnight Mystery Archive. We will be back with Season 2 1 week from today on August 29th. And we'll be beginning Season 2 with a bang. A 3-part series on the case of another missing newspaper child, Johnny Gosh. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on TikTok. Come and find us there. Thank you for listening to Season 1, and we'll see you in a week as we kick off Season 2. Until next time.